let me ask you about the Warriors right now. Do you think there's any buyer's remorse when it comes to Steph Curry and just what's been going on? Like when you endorse someone for so long, like I remember giving certain people like endorsements for a job, right? Like, hey, I endorse that person. Yeah. I co-sign that they can get it. And this is at one point in my life, a lot younger. And then that person totally doesn't live up to their end of the bargain. And you look so foolish. Mm-hmm. I feel like Curry has vouched for Draymond on a variety of things, internally, externally, for years. I get the feeling, and maybe I'm searching way too deep, but I get the feeling that he's exhausted.
It feels like it.
By everything.
It feels like it. So buyer's remorse, when I think of buyer's remorse, I go straight to Joe Lacob.
What do you mean?
What is he thinking courtside? What is he thinking? Because there's been so much emphasis put on keeping the core together. Let him retire all his Warriors. And we just celebrated 11/23 Day. You know, gotta keep the core, gotta keep the core, gotta keep the core. And I keep going back to this. Joe Montana didn't end with the 49ers. He ended it with the Chiefs. Ronnie Lott played for the Raiders and Jets after he left the Niners. Roger Craig played for the Minnesota Vikings after he left the Niners. Tom Rathman did not finish his career with the Niners. Dwight Clark was told by Bill Walsh, hey, I'm about to cut you. You're done. This doesn't, Tom Brady, for crying out loud, didn't end with the New England Patriots. So I think we got to shift our philosophy. Hell, Tony Parker didn't end with the Spurs. He ended with the Charlotte Hornets. Did anybody know that? Patrick Ewing didn't end with the Knicks. He ended in Orlando and Seattle. So I say all that to say, why are we so hell-bent on the core finishing their careers together? It's Steph, hopefully Clay. It'd be great if Draymond ended with the Warriors, but we don't, this is pro sports. This isn't some fairy tale story. Guys don't end with their teams that are drafted. I bet you the percentages are probably like 90% guys don't finish with their teams that originally drafted them. Probably even higher than that, Shasky.
It would probably be very, very, very low. But I think that we thought this was different. And I think that we thought that, the Warrior team being together for 10 years, because look, the broadcasters talked a lot about it. Bob Fitzgerald last year, they were talking about it. Like, there's no three guys that have played 10 years together. Mm-hmm. This is different. What we're doing here is different.
It is different.
And I think the thing that we all forgot to acknowledge was that Curry is the outlier.
Yes.
LeBron James is the outlier. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady, that excellence for that long, and Jerry Rice, those are outliers. Most guys in their mid-30s show major depreciation. And, one of the things that I've thought about long and hard, I'm seeing it right now with Travis Kelce. And I'd be very interested on your thoughts on this. I think we've made a lot of Klay Thompson and where he's at. And I think it's harder for someone like Klay Thompson. Let's say if it's a video game, you're 99 overall, 95 overall. Mm-hmm. I think it's harder for the 95 overall player to go down to like 88, 85 than it is for the 85 player to go down to 78.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
Do you get what I'm going?
Because, 85, they're still, you're not a superstar, but you're still good. But 78, there's some slight drop off, but you can still.
You're more of a role player.
You go from 95 to 88, that specialness.
Exactly.
That Gabe made you at 95 is now gone.
I think psychologically, that might be more damning than anything in sports. To go from, I am one of the elite all-time talents, to just now I'm really good.
And Clay's battle with that.
Right, exactly. But I think Travis Kelce, to a smaller degree this year, has too.
Yep.
He's still a great player, right? But and maybe Clay's is more precipitous, the drop-off, because of the injuries. But I'm talking about the mental hurdle. And so I think it's really difficult to expect all three of those guys to age gracefully and go out on top. Right. Think about just sports in general. How many guys have gone out, or gals, gone out winning a championship on top?
Not many.
Elway.
Not many.
Tim Duncan.
Not many. Peyton Manning.
And even Peyton Manning was so bad at the end.
Right. It was really C.J. Anderson
so bad
in the defense.
At the end.
Yeah. They had to line up a shotgun because he couldn't move.
They were playing the other quarterback for half the year.
Right. Brock Osweiler. Yeah. No, he was cooked.
So, and I get why they would have made that bet, because Clay at the time, before he got injured, was an Iron Man.
Yep.
We've forgotten he was an Iron Man.
He was the top 25 player.
Right? And so, I don't know. Sports is very unforgiving and very cruel at the end.
But even then, you look at Clay's game. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to age better than Draymond's because of his shooting. I'm looking at Orlando the last 2 nights.
His availability is
I'm looking at Orlando the last 2 nights, right?
Yeah.
And Orlando had a crazy day from the three-point line yesterday. We'll get to the calls in just a second. Robin Aiktight, Cameron, Jay, Gene, we're going to get to y'all in a couple seconds here. But I'm watching Orlando, right? And they're 30th in the league in three-point percentage. They're terrible when it comes to threes. Yesterday, they had an outlier day. Paulo Banchero hit like 6 threes. He had like a 40-burger. I love Paulo. And then Jalen Suggs actually balled out yesterday.
I know.
He hit like 5 or 6 threes yesterday.
We were talking about him.
Right. So they had an outlier. But I'm looking at that team. And with all the dribble drive penetration that Wagner and Banchero does, and they get to the cup at will. And then they kick it out. And they've got no shooting. And I'm thinking, boy, if they had a Klay Thompson, oh my gosh, they'd be top 4 of the East, no problem.
Yeah.
And because Klay would be the third option, maybe the fourth option, but a knockdown shooter that they need.
That's a good point.
So I think teams will value Klay. Look, I know you got into the true shooting percentage. 41% is 41%. At the end of the day, 41% is 41%. And teams will see that and say, we can work with this. We can work with that. The stretch Klay Thompson just had. We're like, damn, okay, this guy looks maybe not your second option, but as a third or fourth option, there's going to be teams that value Klay Thompson.
Well, forget the
Draymond Green. If he was on and last year was very interesting with Draymond. He's a free agent. How many teams are courting Draymond Green?
Well, that was the question I was going to ask you, because I think you're talking on court. You're not even calibrating the off-the-court stuff, because I think that matters more than anything. Think about Carson Wentz, who's going to start this weekend. Why wasn't he on an NFL roster until recently?
Locker room cancer, apparently.
Right? So how many NBA teams are sitting there saying to themselves, I don't really care what he can do on the court because I don't want that guy around these guys.
Right.
I think many more are saying that about Draymond than Klay Thompson.
Yeah, and Klay Thompson, he had that come to Jesus moment after the game against Orlando saying, my negative attitude, I realize I'm a mentor to a lot of these guys. And you know what, Klay? We seen him on the boat with Wiseman.
It takes courage to say that.
It takes hurt, but we seen him on the boat with Wiseman. He was rehabbing Wiseman. He has a special love for Wiseman. He's like, dude, we spent a lot of days together. Moses Moody, he's in L.A. in the drop top with Moses Moody. Hell, it just tripped and comes to Moses Moody's basketball camp in Arkansas. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's embraced the Kumingas of the world and everything like that. And Draymond has to a certain extent. We don't see it a lot. But Klay, at least with his game and the locker room presence, that's somebody you could manage. Okay, low maintenance. He's not going to go out there. Doesn't care about doing a lot of media. We can work with that. And we know he's a knockdown shooter. Draymond Green, you got to have the right pieces around him on the basketball team, and you got to deal with the other stuff off the court.
Well, and the one thing that he has failed to do as a player that the Bruce Bowens and the PJ Tuckers have done, guys that are, I would call specialists defensively, he's failed to add the three-point shot from the corner. I mean, all of those guys that are like niche type of players, and Draymond's more than a niche player, but all those guys added elements to their offensive repertoire. As their physical skills started to diminish, they added a three-point knockdown shot to be able to play with different lineups, right? Dre's never really added that.
No, he hasn't. And that's crazy when it comes to Klay. And I'm not going to lie, it kind of bothered me that the narrative about Klay, and we're hyper-focused on Klay to start the season. I'm looking at Andrew Wiggins saying, this guy's shooting 23% from three. What the hell are we looking at here?
The pumpkin.
And what the hell's going on with Andrew Wiggins? Don't even get me started on him right now. But I'm looking at Klay thinking he fits a lot more teams than any of these, the Andrew Wigginses or the Draymond Greens. Him just being on the three-point line, even when he was struggling, how many teams are face guarding this guy with one of their best defenders on the floor? That's the thing people don't look at all the time. Look at the defenders who's defended Klay Thompson. We can't get this guy airspace. And I'm not saying Klay's some great player right now. I'm not saying he's one of the best two guards in the league, but as a shooter, he ages well.
Well, watch the Lakers series last year. Anthony Davis was guarding Draymond for big stretches of that game, or Looney, and he was just sitting in the paint.
Camped out in the paint.
He was like, I dare you to take an elbow jumper.
Camped out in the paint. And Austin Reeves and Vanderbilt, they're Klay Thompson jockstrap. By the way, Chef Sharadia, you knew this was going to happen with the Lakers.
What?
Chef Sharadia just reported about 30 minutes ago. There's currently a growing disconnect between Darvin Ham and Lakers locker room stemming from disjointness around the rotation and adjustments.
Oh, weird.
He's done.
That's crazy.
Losers of 3 in a row, 9-12, and now
why
under 500.
Why doesn't LeBron just coach the team?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. I know he needs a patsy. Like,
39 years old, and he still can't get enough health. It's crazy.
Well, you know what?
You know what? Draymond?
Hey,
no.
No, but listen, though.
But does LeBron want Draymond?
LeBron has been known to bring his friends onto the roster.
And that has
the Lakers are desperate.
Has that gone well for him?
Draymond for Austin Reeves, straight up. Who says no?
They couldn't even
Aside
score
from-
100 yesterday, and Jimmy Butler wasn't playing for the Heat. Yeah, Draymond's really going to help. Get out of here.
Robin in the city.
Robin, happy
Robin
New
in
Year.
the city.
Happy New Year, you guys.
Happy
How
New
you
Year,
doing?
Robin. Happy
you.
New Year, sugar.
Hey, sugar. Hey, y'all should watch. If you haven't, have you watched that? The Dynasty.
I have.
Collection of the Niners.
It's excellent.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
The what? The Dynasty collection of what?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. She tagged me in a Facebook post, and I'll send it to you. You've probably seen portions of it. It's excellent. Thank you for sharing that, Robin.
What was it about? Niners?
Yeah. For
Did you get a chance?
Yeah,
Did you get a chance to watch it, Shamsky?
Yeah, I mean, how can you not love Bill Walsh?
Yeah, I saw a side of him that I never saw, like at practice, telling people off. That was you got to watch it, Monte. Hey, you guys, a few points. Hey, I had so much. You already know. I got a lot to say about Dre, so let me just run it down. Yeah, he could go. Not only but hell yeah, he can go. Okay, first of all, this is a hot take. I think this is what y'all call a hot take. I personally don't think there's a damn thing wrong with Draymond Green. I think Draymond Green is arrogant, and I think he's narcissistic. I think he's manipulative and calculating. I don't know where he's going to go, but he got a plan. If he ended back with the Warriors, it's not going to work. I mean, I don't know why they've enabled this guy, but there's a pattern. Now, when he first started, like in 2015, his behavior was kind of cool, right? It was kind of cool, but then you notice he kind of chilled out a little bit when you got more vets like Wes and Livingston, and then when those players left, then he ran KD off. The money, anything's a threat. The money, follow the money. Okay. Then when he became more responsible because all the playmakers are gone, and they put it in his head that they couldn't win without him, which is crap because they won with KD, okay? And KD didn't need him to set screens for him, okay? And so his attitude has just escalated more and more. I think he personally don't want to play with the Warriors because he don't want to play with a bunch of young kids, and he don't like losing. He is the cancer in that locker room. He also had the power. And now look, let's go backwards. He did the same thing to Poole, but Poole, didn't help because he pouted. He didn't play well, but. There again, follow the money, and the people that still justify what he did to Poole, and he has the power in the media to keep painting that narrative.
Yeah.
Like Poole is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Just look at him. Just follow what he does, his behavior. Draymond Green is shady as hell. And while y'all talking about counseling, he out there partying with LeBron. Peace out, guys.